All right, we'll just roll with it here, and see what happens. I know it's been lagging a little bit, but it is what it is, and nothing we can do about it. So, um, point is, that's how I get down to the smallest level. And I don't go as far as analysis goes down below an hour. I think below an hour, you're asking for trouble. You're trying to see things that don't exist, and it's just noise down there. So my personal preference, I don't go and analyze anything below an hour. Now, momentum wise, right, if I look at the RSI or something like that, certainly I'll go below the hourly. I'll even go down to, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. But as far as Elliott wave analysis goes, I don't look at anything below an hour. You're not going to find anything worth a lick down there that is anything of importance. Um, Hourly and above is you're going to be able to see everything. Okay. So let's talk about now. Here, let me get rid of all these brushes. All right. Let's get rid of all these brushes. Dun, dun, dun. Brush, 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 brush. Gone. Okay. Let me get rid of this line too. We don't need that no more. I used it. Okay. Now let's go back bigger. We've seen everything there is to see down at the hourly. We've run out of room on the hourly, so let's go back to something bigger, and that's the 8-hour. So that brings me to the point of right now. I think the most probable count, all right, is that we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 with alternation, and it doesn't overlap. Okay, and this is your 5th, which makes sense because your 1 and your 3 are already extended. Your 5th should be very short. Okay. Now, if we look at a fib relationship, and I only look at fib relationships after the fact in hindsight. Personal preference, I've just found through experience that if you're trying to find a fib relationship before it's all over, you're just setting yourself up to trick yourself into something that is not there. Okay, this is just a personal preference is all. If you like looking at fibs before it's done, hey, go for it. Okay, but if we take the whole wave, all right, into account, that in log, okay, we find that wave 1 is 61.8% of the whole. Okay, that is an absolutely beautiful relationship, fib-wise. And lends to, if you were at this point and you're like, yeah, I think that is a 5 waves complete impulse, then you would be looking for something like this to show you, yeah, that's a great fib relationship. I now see that in hindsight. Okay, that's a very common misconception in my opinion, and what I've found from trading over the years is that fibs are not used to trade off of. Okay, fibs are used to measure things. Price action is what you use to trade off of. There are exceptions. Okay, there are things that, okay, maybe you're getting way too small. Like for instance, I had a member in my Discord. I think he was in this. If he's not in here now, he was in here earlier. Okay, that entered here. Okay, because well, on a small time frame. Let me go down to the hourly. You're not going to see it here, but we saw a 3-wave move here. Okay, and I showed this exact 3-wave move before it happened. Okay, I said this was one. We had this move here, and I said look for a flat because this is not deep enough. Okay, so that is indicative of that it's only the first wave of 2 more to come. All right. So I said that's your A. Okay, look for a flat here. Look for a flat. Okay. Now, as it turns out, our flat was a triangle in the middle, and I don't like to go down there, but I'm going to show it just to see. You see, you have to go smaller and smaller and smaller to see this stuff. This is all this 15-minute time frame is good for. Okay, is not to enter a trade with. Okay, but I'm going to come down here just to show you. All right, I have this labeled as the 1. This is the 5-wave move down. Right. This is our 5-wave move down. Okay. You have, or you can even look at it like this. Okay. You have your 3-wave move here for your A. Okay. You have another 3-wave move here for your B. Or so maybe you thought. That's another A of a triangle. A, B, C, D, E, B, C, D, E, triangle, B wave. Okay, let me circle the degrees here. So this would be your A, this would be your B, okay, and then too small to see because it happened so fast, but an impulse for your C. Okay, and now you have a 3, 3, 5 expanded flat. Okay, and it just so happened that the A wave of a triangle in the B wave is what gave you your expanded pocket. Okay, but your C wave didn't start until here, until the triangle completed. And then you got your 5 waves up here, which you can't see because it's too small. Okay. So, all that being said, I pointed that out in my Discord. So I pointed out that if you had this move, okay, and that looks like 3 waves, but it could be deceiving if you're just going for a scalp. Okay, you wanted your stop here because this cannot be retraced in a motive fashion based off of this low. But if you're just simply looking to build a position, you keep your stop up here. Because, and I mentioned it very specifically, that a flat can take you out here and still be motive to the downside. Okay? And that is exactly what happened. You got this flat. Okay? We had an entry here. Okay? I'm not going to tell you how we had an entry, but we had one. You have to join my Discord to find out how we had one there. 3-wave move here. We had another entry here. Okay? And the point of why I started this whole thing is because it's 61.8%. Okay? Now, is 61.8% an entry in itself? No, it is not. Okay? But once you're getting down to these small time frames, all you are simply looking for is a 3-wave move. Okay? And we had one person in our Discord that decided that I'm looking for a 3-wave move, and I'm just going to enter at the 61.8, okay, because that's a reasonable place to enter, but keeping your stop up high, up at the high, right? And that's exactly what he did. And he's well into profit now, okay? And I want to emphasize he didn't enter because it was the 61.8. He entered because he saw 3 waves. Didn't know where the terminus exactly was, and no one knows exactly was, but a 61.8 seems reasonable, so therefore he would enter there, and that determines his position size based on his stop. Okay, and we use a 1% stop in my Discord, so, or a 1% risk, I'm sorry. So the stop would have been 1.25% away, so he damn near can get his entire balance, 100% almost. And if he entered with his momentum, our first entry here, based on momentum, which I'm not going to show you, you have to join my Discord to find out how we got that one. If you entered at this entry that we had, then you're well over. Then you have all of your balance in. You have every dollar that you own in this trade, and you are already well into profit, and you can move your stop to break even. No loss whatsoever. And you one of two things will happen. Either we're completely wrong and this is going to stop out and you lose absolutely nothing by being wrong, or you're absolutely right and you're going to get this series of 1-2s and this thing's going to dump and you're going to be 10, 15, 20, 40% in profit, maybe, who knows, by the time all is said and done. So who wouldn't want to trade in a system where you can risk absolutely nothing but have the potential to gain 40%? Okay, and that's the kind of things that I trade in my Discord. There's always the possibility of being completely wrong. And this can come up and it's like, well, what was it? Well, let's recount everything and see what we missed, right? But in the meantime, guess what? Being completely wrong, lost absolutely nothing, didn't lose $1, and we get to start all over again. At a higher price, even, because you know it's eventually coming down. It has to. Everything comes down. Okay, just like everything goes up. Nothing goes in a straight line. This is a fractal market. This does not move in a linear fashion. I'm showing the wrong tab. You say I'm showing the wrong tab. How am I showing the wrong tab? Hold on. One hour chart, no drawings. Okay. I'm on a 1 hour chart. I don't think I have another tab. This is, yeah, I don't have another tab, guy. This is the only tab I have open. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Chat moderator. I don't even know what the heck a chat moderator is. Goodness gracious. Okay. Oh. 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 Hold on. Check the chart. How do I make you a chat moderator? I don't even know how to do that. So, what are you looking at right now? You're looking at this. Is that correct? Do you see the chart moving? What if I get rid of all the drawings? Well, I wish I was smarter. That should be empty. There should be an empty chart now, right? Hold on. I'm asking my Discord people. I'm going to write the word hi on the chart. And then I have to explain that all again. Once I figure out, apparently, this messed up again. It says no. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this then. Okay. doesn't want to work with me today. Let's get rid of these. What about now? What in the world? Well, I don't know what to say. There's no source selected. On my end, it shows that it's on, and it says hi. And no sound? Any sound? Oh, it says it good now. Okay, I think we're back. Everybody says it's back. Okay, I don't know what that was all about, but I just reset it, so. Well, let me explain. So it is, the guy I was talking about is here, that's Eldrian. He's the one talking about a 61.8 entry. Now, the important thing, I'll draw that for you here in a second. Let me get rid of these lines. What I was referring to at the 61.8, okay? So I'll say all that again, all right? Essentially what I was saying was that you had 5 down here, and that's a 1, okay? And then we had this 3-wave move, okay? We didn't have any of the rest of this yet. So that's not deep enough, likely an A wave, okay? Then we got this, and I made mention, because I cater to multiple different trading styles, okay? But if you're just scalp trading, then you want your stop to be here, because in a motive fashion that can't break if you're being motive in relation to this wave degree, okay? But if you're adding on, and I made sure to say that, if you are adding and building a position, you do not want your stop to be here. You want your stop to be here, okay? And the reason for that is because a flat can take you out, okay? And that's exactly what we got, was a flat. Now this was a tricky flat. And this was what I was explaining before the screen went black, okay? And this is the triangle I was counting, okay? That this, okay, 3-wave move here as an A wave, okay, triangle B, okay? You can very easily fool yourself to thinking that that's the B wave, okay? And that you're getting a C wave like this. No, that is not the spirit of a combination pattern, okay? Combination patterns don't expand. Combination patterns either are multiple zigzags, which do expand, okay, but this is not a zigzag, or they're flat and they're sideways. Now, could a sideways pattern just very minutely go past a top or a low? Yeah, sure. There's no rule, okay, but it's not the spirit of a combination pattern to do so. Therefore, this was a triangle, i.e. A, B, C, D, E, That's your B wave. 5-wave move for your C, which you can't see because the subwaves are too small. Okay, I'm already down in the 15-minute. I mean, you can't go much lower than that to see anything, right? That. So 1, 2. Okay. We had an entry here. Well, it was on the hourly is where we had our entry. Okay. So I go back to that. We had our entry right around here. Okay. Had another entry here. And what I was explaining to you, okay, was that was really hard to count because it's so stinking small. Like this is such small subwaves, right? You don't have to concern yourself with that. You're looking for 3 waves. So whether you thought that was a 3-wave move, okay, or whether you thought that was a 3-wave move, which is actually how you would count it, okay, regardless, you're looking to enter knowing that 5 waves, okay, cannot be fully retraced. So what one of our members did is he just said, well, fuck it, essentially. I'm going to use the 61.8 here and enter there. And that's exactly what he did. Now the 61.8 itself is not an entry mechanism. Just because there's a line there doesn't mean you just enter with it, okay? But his point was that it's a reasonable spot for price to retrace to if you have a 3-wave move already identified, which we had. So in that case, sure, go ahead and enter there, but your stop remains up here. All he did was make the decision that is the spot that I'm going to enter on, and that is the spot that I am going to determine that my position sizing is calculated on. And it's about 1.25%. So therefore at here, he can get dang near 100% of his balance in working for him. And combined with the other first entry we had, which again I alluded to that I'm not going to tell you how we got that entry because that's a secret. Only my Discord members are going to know how we knew to enter here at damn near the top. Okay, that's privileged information for them. It's a system that I came up with, and I only share with those people because they deserve it, because they're paying and they're the ones that are getting all the education. But this part of the entry is no secret. Okay, this is public knowledge. This is just Elliott wave. Okay, 2 cannot retrace 100% of 1. So I am freely willing to tell you why that's an entry. Okay, but if you want to know why that was an entry, then you need to join the Discord to find out. Regardless, it was a good entry. Okay. And it was a good Fibonacci relationship. Okay. And it was a great risk because now he's got all of this as profit now, and he can move his stop right almost exactly to the damn dollar of where his entry was, and protect this entry and protect his entire position now for 0 risk whatsoever at all, with the potential. Okay, if we zoom out, all right, we're zoomed in so far, you get lost down here, with the potential to keep this position open all the way down here, okay, for 0 risk. And that's what trading's all about, okay? Now again, can we be wrong? Can he be wrong? Absolutely. There's another way maybe we don't see yet on how this could expand up and break that high. I don't see it right now, okay, but maybe I haven't delved deep enough. The only way I would think is that it would break the guideline, okay, that I had referred to earlier. All right, we have to go all the way back to the 8-hour time frame. Okay, remember when I was talking about that this correction here, okay, is 3 times the size and time of this one. Right? This is supposed to be a smaller degree, right? Well, if this breaks up, okay, and we start going, well then now the market has told us that it broke a guideline. Okay, not a rule. Again, not a rule, a guideline. We have to deal in probabilities until we get to that point, of which, if that's the case, we're going to have more entries. Okay, we will have more entries and be able to take advantage of that. It's not going to go to 100,000 without us knowing about it. Okay, the point is we've come down on the hourly and made a probable determination that this wave is going no further up, okay, until it gives us a retracement. So therefore, the probable entry was one to enter here. Again, I'm not going to tell you why or how we did that, but we did. And to enter here, short, both short positions, okay, and to ride that down as far as it will take us before we turn over and take our profit, okay. And if we are wrong, unprobabilistically wrong, but still possibly wrong, then we lost absolutely nothing. We lost $0 to do that. And that's the beauty of how I teach to trade Elliott wave theory. Excuse me. Let me go to some questions in the chat here. I can't hear, I'm deaf. Well, Dan, if you're deaf, I don't know if if closed captioning works, but maybe turn that on. I don't do sign language, unfortunately. So if you're deaf, I'm sorry. There were questions in the old chat, I think, but maybe they didn't join us back here. Anyway, between the other live stream that got all buggy and this one, which at least at this point seems to be working correctly, that's what I have to say about all that. And that the probable action, in my opinion, okay, is that this is all going to be retraced. Okay, not only is this already retraced, okay, so we know for a fact. All right, maybe you guys didn't see that line. I'm going to redraw that line. I'm going to redraw that line just so you can see it. I got to go back to the hourly to do that because it's so small. When I drew that triangle, right? So I said that this was A. Is that how I drew it? A, B, C, D, E. Okay, you see it better on the 15-minute. I think I went down there. I don't like to come down here often, but just to dial something in, that's the only reason I'm coming down to the 15-minute. Okay, triangle here, A, B, C, D, E for the fourth wave. All right, and then that gave you your fifth, which was just a thrust. Okay, you just have to, at some point you just have to trust that there's 5 subwaves in there, but it doesn't matter. It's you're relating it to the rest of the structure, right? Who gives a rat's ass if you can get 5 subwaves out of that? You're looking at the bigger structure, and you have 5, okay? And you have extended first, extended third, so you know the 5 can't extend. It's a rule, right? So, that being said, who gives a rat's ass if you go down to the 1 minute and see, or the 30-second chart or whatever, you have a wave, and that's your 5th one. So, remember, Ralph Nelson Elliott did this on a line chart, okay? We have the luxury of candlesticks. So, point being is that if you take this E wave, so that is the bottom, that is the orthodox low of wave 4, okay? And if you take that and you put a line, okay, and I can dial it in here in a second. I can even go down to the exact dollar. So, where is that? Right there. 29,945. Okay. And I can go in here and physically type that in. 29,945 is the exact low of that candle, right? And you can see visually that this candle fully retraced it, right? It's fully retraced. And you can even line up on that candle, okay, and then look at the top where it says the low of the candle is 29,938, So you have fully retraced this wave. Okay, as long as I have this triangle labeled correctly, right? That's part of it. So as long as I have this triangle labeled correctly, then you have fully retraced the wave. Okay, if I don't have it fully labeled correctly and it really ended here or here or here, right? Well, then you're really freaking close, regardless, right? But point of the matter is, we now know, okay, assuming this triangle is labeled correctly, that this wave degree is finished. It's done. Okay? This wave degree cannot possibly extend. If you couldn't tell that already by the size of this correction in relation to just that, right? But now you have confirmation that it is not possible for this wave degree to extend, okay? Which means now you go to the next one, okay? This wave degree is finished, right? Which means that this entire wave is finished. That whole thing is done. So what does that tell you? That tells you that at a minimum, you are going to get a retracement of this wave. And at a minimum of 3 waves. Okay? So this is probably not your retracement to that. Okay? You were likely 1, 2, and you're working on smaller degree 1, 2s till you get a 3, 4, 5, at a minimum, a pullback and 5 more. If it's going to be a zigzag, we don't know yet. We have to see how this develops. Okay? And then you end up somewhere around here. Okay? Maybe you end up somewhere around here, maybe you, it doesn't matter. What matters is you have to see the structure along the way. And the point of the matter is we're not done yet. So, until you see some sort of signs from price structure that we are done yet, any pullback this way should be aggressively shorted. Okay? And if it does break this, it cannot break this. Okay? Because you're looking for a more significant move. And that's just the market whispering in your ear. That's just Elliott telling you exactly what's going to happen. All right? Now, it only goes so far. Elliott's not telling you yet that this low is going to break. Okay? We have not been told by the market that this low is going to break yet. Okay? But let's talk for a moment. Let's say it does. Okay? Let's say we come down here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, boop, and it breaks. Right? We break this low. Use the same exact method. Okay? Let's get out of this stinking 15 minute. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. Just arbitrarily picking that. Okay? And that's what I've drawn on the 4 hour. Okay? Now, if this low breaks, now you apply the same exact logic. You now know that this wave is finished. It's done. It cannot extend. Just like the same way we did with the smaller one. Right? It cannot extend. It cannot get bigger because the rule is 2 cannot retrace 100% of 1. Therefore, it has to be done. Has to be if you break this low. Which then means, as soon as that low breaks, okay, then that means that this entire wave is complete. All the way from this low. It is all done. And then the only question remaining is, does this low hold or not? Okay. And then you do the same thing on a bigger time scale. So then now you have 5 down, 1, 2, again, same concept, aggressively shorting, because you know that 5 can only be the beginning of something. Get 5 more, okay? Don't worry about the rules here. I just squiggled 5, all right? And at this point, now are we done, right? That's the question then you need to ask yourself, right? Because if this comes down and breaks this low, right? Then it's the same thing all over again. That means that this is all done. Okay, but then you have to go bigger because you have to connect. This is 5, right? Then you have to connect this to something. And the only thing you can connect it to, okay, get rid of all the garbage there. The only thing you can connect it to, because 5 can only begin something or end something, right? So if this is going to be the end of something and not the beginning, then it can only end a flat, which means that this was 3, and this was 5, and that's an expanded flat, right? It's legal, seems big. Okay, I have a count that reflects that. I call it the snowball's chance in hell. And I still give it the snowball's chance in hell because this 5 is getting a little long in the tooth to be a C wave in relation to this. Right? Now they don't all have to be the same size, but you can use the same type of circle test. That's what I call it, the circle test, right? So if I circle that and I bring it here, well, this is way bigger than what this is. Okay? All right, fine. But at least then this should be of similar size to this next one, and it's way definitely not. Okay? And now if we look in time, if you're going to use the rules bearish, you're going to have to use the rules bullish too. This is not a bears versus bull channel. This is whatever the market's going to give us channel, right? So if you look, and we're going to measure time now. So I've measured this A wave, okay? And if we're going to label this ABC, okay, for an expanded flat, which I don't think it is. I think this is too big to be a C wave, okay? And the reason I say that is because your B wave took approximately 1.618 the time that the A did. That alone is not egregious, okay? Not egregious in the slightest. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Now let's look at the A versus the C. That is nearly 4 times. We're going to at least 3.5 times the size, the C wave, than the A wave. That is gigantic. That's the same thing we were talking about over here with from the bullish perspective, right? When I said this 2 versus another 2, a smaller degree, no way, right? No way is it 3 times as big, a smaller degree. I'm using the same logic from the bearish perspective. Okay? So just like from the bull side, I do not think that this is 1, 2, 1, 2, because that is egregious compared to that. Okay? I also don't believe that that's your A and that's your C. That's egregious. That's gigantic. Okay? But that's not a rule. Like I said, the market would have to prove to me that that was a flat. I'm not going all in on that. Okay? What I am willing to go all in on, okay, I always manage my risk. And when I say all in, it's with a grain of salt. All right? It's with my full 1% risk that I will close all my shorts. My short that I have here, I will not hold hoping that low breaks. Not going to happen. I will not do it. I will have longed well before that. Okay? The only thing that would keep me from longing or from closing my short, okay, it probably somewhere around like 18,000 or something. Again, not a target, but you know, I would not hold it past that. Is if this just dumped straight through. That's the only thing that I would keep my short open for. Is this thing diddle-daddles along, okay, for the next freaking 6 or 9 months. No way am I hoping that this low breaks. It's not going to happen. I will buy. We get 5, okay, down to here. You get 3 more back up. You get 5 more back down. Okay, I'm going to say zigzag, and I'm buying that over the next 6 to 9 months or whatever it is. I will buy that. I absolutely will, and I will become bullish, and I will buy it. And if it comes up and stops me out and it does break, well, good on the market. Then I'll look for a pullback and I'll short it. That's all that's going to happen. That's how I trade. Okay? But I'm not going to hope and pray that low breaks. Okay? Like I said, it would have to dump ferociously over the next couple of weeks without stopping for me to not close that trade. Okay? This should, for all intents and purposes, let's look at time again. Okay? Let's look at time one more time. Let's start at this, and now let's look at this whole wave. All right? This should take all the way till at least, it doesn't, I don't even have a label on it. Okay, maybe I have to go to a higher time frame. This is November. Okay? Minimum. This thing should meander along until November. 61.8% of the time. Okay? It could take longer. Depends how long we take in this B. If the B wave gets there, right? Then I'd be waiting till closer to 1-to-1. Is it going to be exactly 1-to-1 then on that day I buy? No. Okay? I'm just looking in reference to how long it's been. Okay? And I'm looking for a 3-wave move somewhere, okay, in this range. I know it's a big range, but that's what I'm looking for. All right? Case in point, if this just dumped straight down and broke that low before even remotely even coming close to this, I'm not buying it yet. Okay? But this should take its time. Okay? Something like this. Something like that. Okay? I don't know if it comes this low. We're talking about ranges. Okay? That's a good range. Okay? To be buying in. Right? If it came down there and it ending a 3-wave move, and I definitely see 5 here, I am buying that. Definitely 100% buying that and waiting for the rocket ship. Okay? Other questions. What's happened to the cuckoo clock? I don't know. The cuckoo clock, I've been on vacation, okay, for about a week and a half now. And the cuckoo clock has weights on it. And every couple of days somebody has to pull the weights on the cuckoo clock so the cuckoo can keep cuckooing. And nobody's been here for about 10 days. And nobody's pulled the weights to reset the cuckoo clock. So, yeah. Detroit Dan says, do you still think we are heading to 8 or 9K? No. I never actually thought we were going to 8 or 9K. All right, that is a count that I had brought up in my last video. And the point of that count was that we have to consider that as a possibility, because it is a possibility. Okay, and it's still on the table, and the only way that we're getting to 8 or 9K, all right, it's one of two ways. Okay, I'll even expand past that. That this was a flat, which that doesn't look like a flat to me now. It's much too big. Okay, but it's technically following the rules. All right, that would be a B wave, by the way. Okay, because I got 5 down. Okay, 1, whoops, that's a 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have this as a barrier triangle. Okay, as the 4th. So I have a zigzag here in the 2, and I have a triangle here in the 4th. A barrier triangle specifically. Okay, it's not a contracting triangle, it's not an expanding triangle, it's a barrier triangle. Okay, it's in the book. All right, so barrier triangle for the 4th, and a very small 5th. Again, we're following the rules, right? What did I say about the extensions? If you have an extension in the 1st and you have an extension for the 3rd, the 5th cannot extend. Well, let's look at what happened since the high. You have 5. You have 5. Here's your barrier triangle for the 4th. And your 5th looks like a stick. Why? Because it can't extend. It's a rule. You already have an extension in the first. You already have an extension in the third. You cannot extend the fifth. You can't do it. So all you're going to get in the fifth, in this, if you have an extended first and extended third, is just the first wave of what would be an extension, which is exactly what we got. Right? Which is exactly what I'm telling you is going on here. You have an extended first. You have an extended third. There's your fifth. It's done. Okay? You have two extensions. You cannot get a third. It's a rule. You cannot do it. All right? So, but again, 5 waves, it begins something or ends something, right? So which brings me back to there's 2 ways we can get to 10K if that's what the market desires. All right? This 5-wave move, whoop, whoop, right there, okay, can only begin something or end something. Well, I do not think that that is a 5-wave move. I think that's a zigzag. This specifically is a zigzag. Okay? I do not think that's 5 at all. I've always said it's not 5. It doesn't look like 5. It doesn't count as 5. It breaks too many rules to be 5. That, my friends, is a zigzag. Okay? Which means that it's a B wave. Okay? This is the end of the third. Okay? You have 3, 3, 5. Okay? You can see it right there. There's 5. 5 begins something or ends something. Well, now we're looking bigger, right? Here's 5 here. 3, 4, 5. Right? You can see it. It's there. 5 waves. Right down. Okay? Did this 5 begin something or end something? And ended something. It ended a flat. You had 3 here. You had 3 here. And you had 5 here. That's an expanded flat. Expanded flat being the 3 expanded past the start of A, and the C extended past the beginning of A. Okay? Look at this very carefully. 3, 3, 5. Now look bigger. What was that? A 3-wave move, right? Now look bigger. What do you see? 3, 3, 5. It's a flat. Okay? It's an expanded flat. The B extended past the end of A. The C extended past the start of A. That's what I think it is. Okay? Now, if you wanted to say that this 5 was the beginning of something, then you must say that this was 5, and I don't see it. There's too many problems with it. But let's say it was, for sake of conversation. Okay? It can't be a diagonal because, 1, the first wave doesn't meet a diagonal, and then the second wave and the fourth wave have no alternation. Okay? And in the 4, if this is going to be your 4 for a 5-wave move, okay? If this is going to be your 4, it doesn't go past the start of 1, which is a rule for a diagonal. Okay? And if you come down to the 1, we'll zoom in more. I've talked about this before in past videos. Okay, but you have to have 5 waves off the low, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Problem, it's a rule. 5 has to extend past the end of 3. It's a rule, and it doesn't. Okay? So therefore, this is a triple zigzag. Okay, for a B wave. You have a zigzag, which would be a W, an X wave. You have a zigzag, okay, which would be your Y wave. You have a zigzag for your X wave, your second X wave, okay, and you have a zigzag for your Z wave. That's your triple zigzag. That's what that is. As far as Elliott probabilities and counting goes, that's what that is. A lot of people are calling that 5. I don't think it is, but if you want to give it the benefit of the doubt that that is 5, okay, and you put a 5 up there, then that means that this 5 is the beginning of something. And then the only way you're getting to 10K is because, so that seems egregious to me and way too big. All right. So then your next probable outcome to get to 10K is that this 5 up, that this is 5 down, and this 5 up is an A wave. Okay. And you're going to get a 3-wave pullback for a B wave. And then you're going to get 5 more like this. Okay. That cannot break this high, by the way. I drew that too big. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay. Cannot break this high. Okay. And then that's a C wave. That's an A wave. That's a bigger B wave. Okay. Circle that. And then you get 5 more down, and that's how you get to 10K. Okay. But that would all rely on this here being 5 waves, which I don't think it is. It doesn't look like it. It looks corrective the whole time. It fits into a corrective pattern that I can see on the chart, which I just showed you, 3, 3, 5. But like I said in my last video, if you give it the benefit of doubt, which I think it's a much too large of a degree to be giving it the benefit of doubts, but hell, give it the benefit of the doubt, then that's on the table. Okay, we're a ways off from that, and as I tried to show you that it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Okay, it doesn't matter if you think 5 waves is done here or not. That you can trade this because 5 waves is 5 waves is 5 waves on any degree, and it doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter what degree you're on. 5 waves is 5 waves is 5 waves. And 5 waves will give you a retracement 100% of the time. That's a rule you can take to the bank. When 5 waves are complete, you will get a significant retracement every single time. Few things are sure in life. Death and taxes are 2 of them, and 5 waves giving you a retracement is another one. It will happen every single time. Okay? Which is why I was not scared. This wasn't the reason, by the way, okay, when we entered here. But let me get rid of some of this. Alright. Okay. All those brushes are gone. Whoops. Oh, I have more garbage. Okay, let me get rid of some garbage. Boom. Okay. Let's start even at the bottom. Okay, to emphasize my point. What did we get off the bottom? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did we get? What did it give us? A retracement. Okay. What happened next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did it give us? A retracement. Okay. You could even have counted this as 5. It's probably 3. 1, 2, 3. You got a retracement. Okay. All right. That's a little shadier. But next one. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did you get? A retracement. And a nice one. Okay. Now let's look at the next degree. Right. We're getting smaller degrees here. Right. You can even see it on this time frame. I'm in the 8-hour time frame. Okay. What do you see on the 8-hour time frame? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we starting? A retracement. Let's go down to the freaking hourly. Okay, just to prove to you that I'm not lying to you. Right? What do we get on this first one off the low? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did it give us? A retracement. We got another thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Got a little overzealous there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did it give us? A retracement. Okay? I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes will show it to us. It's freaking super tiny, but Let's go down to the 5-minute. Why the hell not? One, two, three, four, five. What do we get? A retracement. Okay? Every single time. 100% of the time. 5 waves at any wave degree will, for 100% certainty, give you a retracement. It will give it to you every single time. The only thing you have to concern yourself is what degree are you ending? Okay? That's the only thing you have to ascertain. But even if you don't know, right? I had a way to enter at the very top of this wave. Okay? Again, you have to join my Discord to know how. But I had a way to enter at the very top of this wave. Even if this wave was going to extend, okay, which I don't think it's going to, but let's say I was wrong and somehow I counted something incorrectly and it will, right? I have 100% of my balance in here, fully protected, zero risk, with all of this opportunity to go, to gain profit. And if I'm wrong, I lost nothing and I get to start all over again. Give me another 5 and I'll do it again. You know why? Because eventually I'm going to be right. And I'm not far off from being right. Okay? And when I'm right, okay, no matter if it's here, 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 or here, whenever it is that I'm right, I'm getting all of that back. All of it. And I lost nothing along the way. Not a dollar, a penny, a nickel, nothing. Okay? And that's how I trade the market. If you want to know more, join the Discord. Okay? BossWizardCrypto.com. I think you got to put the www on it. www.bosswizardcrypto.com. What happened to the coup? Oh, you already said that. I already talked about the 2 coup clock. 8 or 9K. I responded to Dan with that. Yes, it is a possibility on the table. I don't think we are, but it's possible. It doesn't seem very probable to me to go to 8 or 9K, but it is a possibility, and if we did, I'll trade it all the way down. That's all the questions I see in the chat. I'll give it about 5 minutes if somebody wants to type something else. Other than that, I think I've covered everything in massive detail, to be honest with you. That's all I got to say. So I'll give it about 5 minutes before I end this thing. Feel free to type away. Yes, thank you, Lou. I did have a nice vacation. I didn't do much. I did do a little bit of training. I vowed All right, friends, I'll end it here. And if you have other questions, I mean, you can join the link to the Discord's on the website there that I posted. But I mean, you can get into it. You can't see anything unless you subscribe. But if you just have a question to ask, you can pop in there. Otherwise, it's a free trial. If you wanted to get into the Discord, just use the slant upgrade command in the chat there on the Discord. But that's all we got. Until next time, we'll see you.